This was about 1959. And on the right-hand side, there was Aunt Ginny, as she was affectionately known, with Santa Claus, which may or may not have been Skeeter Berenato. He dressed up as Santa Claus from time to time. I can't tell behind the beard. But then there is Virginia's daughter, Janie, my sister, Annie, my eldest sister, Debbie, Nicole Luca, who was Kathy Luca's niece. Kathy, where are you? There. And then me, right there, on Aunt Ginny's knee. That was about 1980. Oh, really quick, my apologies. I'll give that look. She knows this better than I do. Aunt Ginny passed away in May 19th, 1985. She was about 36 years old. Her only child, Jamie, married Jimmy Cirillo, and they have two children, Leah and Jimmy Cirillo, and they currently live in her other grandparents' house, which is cool because she's right around the corner from us who live in my grandparents' house. So that's nice. Anthony, my father, also known as Bird. In the early 90s, I don't know why. If any of you know for certain why, I've been trying to figure this out for 20 years. I've heard many different stories. I don't know if any of them are true. So if any of you know, talk to me after.
Could be anything.
You keep it to yourself there.
Yeah.
I said it could be anything.
You told me your theory 20 years ago. It's not fit for public consumption.
You know me, Joey. I don't like to talk.
No. On the left, early 1950s, you'll notice Pleasant Street is not paved. There was a man that used to go around with a little pony, and he would have cowboy costumes and cowgirl costumes, and he would offer to take pictures of the neighborhood children for a small fee. So my grandparents, it was probably my grandmother's idea, she went for this. And now we have this, which is, I think, my favorite picture of my father ever. Allegedly, right after this photo was taken, young Anthony started screaming and has never since been on a horse. One and only time. On the right is my father and his wife Heidi. 2000, this was 2007, on their wedding day. They have now been married for 10 years. Upper left is Joe Mohawk and his wife Evelyn Ford for their wedding. They got married on March 31st, 1945. In the upper right-hand corner, several members of the Never There Gun Club posed with their kills, including Mohawk all the way to the left, and his son Anthony right next to him. Mohawk was one of the founders of the Never There Gun Club in the 1950s and was a member up until his death. In the bottom left, there he is, surrounded by all of his grandchildren on his birthday in 1980. His birthday was December 7th, which was easy to remember because that's Pearl Harbor Day. Getting back to the aforementioned birth certificate where we learned that his middle name was Antonio, that has his birthday listed as December 6th. So he got a birth certificate for a Joe A. Berenato born on December 6th, but he's a Joe E. Berenato born on December 7th. It was very confusing for all of us, but he insisted that his mother told him he was born on December 7th, and he trusted his mother a lot more than any doctor that might have filled it out at the time, so his birthday was December 7th, and that's what we put on his stone. And on the bottom right there, no, there was no arguing with him at all. No. You could try, you would not win. No. A hard-working man of routine, Joe continued to go to the farm every day of his life. He worked a few hours every day. He would have coffee with us. He would tell us what we should be doing, what we didn't do, how he would do it, and then he would go home and repeat it in the afternoon. And he did this every single day up to and including the day before he passed away. He passed on July 5th, 2015. He was 96 years old, and as unbelievable as it sounds, that was a shock to everyone. You would not think that the death of a 96-year-old man would come as a surprise, but considering how active that he was, it was indeed a surprise. Now, the interesting thing is the day he died also happened to be his grandmother Catherine's birthday, July 5th. That brings us to my father and our family. We have my eldest sister, Deborah Ann Berenato Samuelson. On the left, here she is posing for her first Holy Communion photo. We figure this was probably about 1976. And on the right, here's Debbie with her son, Joey Samuelson, named after both his father and, at least she tells me, me. That's the story that I'm going with. Debbie worked at the Atlantic County Utilities Authority for 25 years, actually with Uncle Joe's son, Ronnie, for quite a long time. And then she retired, and she now works as a 31 consultant, and she also has her own business, DAS Originals, where she does bits with fabrics and reclaimed furniture. The middle sister, Anna Elizabeth Berenato Warburton. On the left, there she is at her christening. Also in that picture are my mother and my father, obviously. My mother's mother, Rosalie. Debbie, Aunt Ginny, and her husband, Frank Frisetto, and I think that might be Aunt Grace in the background over there, though I can't really tell. This was in 1976. Annie was born on March 19th. On the right is Annie now with her family, her twin boys, David and Connor, both 13. They were born in January of 2005. And her husband, Michael Warburton, whom she married in November of 2003. Annie taught high school math for more than 15 years, and she is now a guidance counselor at Hamilton High. Then there's me, Joseph F. F is for Frank, after my maternal grandfather, and I believe that I may actually be the only Joseph F. on the planet. So I've got that going for me. On the left is me and my father on an old Ferguson tractor in our backyard, 1981. And on the right, my lovely wife Robin and I on our wedding day on February 24th, 2017. Bill already gave me an incredible introduction, so I don't need to tell you any more about me beyond what he already told you. I'll be damned. How did we miss that?
It's a thing.
It's
Your birthday is never your own. There's always someone who passes, someone who marries, someone who's buried on somebody else's birthday. Your day is never your own in the Berenato family.
We got married on Giuseppe's birthday. Didn't know it at the time. That's extraordinary. The next generation, my sons. On the left, my eldest, Justin Michael, with his wife Samantha. They got married in January of this year. Justin is obviously in the Navy, and he is stationed at Norfolk, and his wife was, she just completed college in San Diego and was able to move out and meet him, I believe today she arrived. So they're very happy finally living together again. And on the right, my youngest, Jackson, he lives in Texas with his mother, and among his loves are baseball and Star Wars. So, and I am told that he looks like a clone of me. And it just like shot the kid out whole like that. Now the one theme that has run through our family for the last 96 years is Mohawk Farms. Now Giuseppe, he bought his first land, I believe, on First Road, but Tony Mohawk struck out on his own and bought his first 10 acres on 10th Street in 1922. Prior to that, he had had a number of different jobs. On various documents, he was listed as a glass cutter. On one, he was listed as a chauffeur. And we know that he was also the supervisor of county roads for 10 years. But farming is kind of where it was at for him. That property, we still have, of course, our original 10 acres, and that's where all of our packing facilities, all of our warehouse space, and all of our housing are. In the last 96 years, the farm has grown to encompass 10 times that much land. You see here, Tony Mohawk, this was actually on the same day as my grandfather's furlough. This was in 1942, May 24th to be precise. You're There's my grandfather in the back of the bed, my father looking a little and cute in his grandfather's truck, and there's me looking a little and cute where our green warehouse building was about to go up. That was taken circa 1981 because I'm wearing glasses. Yes. More shots of our farm. The mulberry tree in the center of the compound was planted by my grandfather when he was 12 years old, and it has been both a bane and a blessing ever since. It's been a bane because generations of Berenato kids and blueberry packers and raspberry packers and so forth grew up learning that mulberry stains do not come out of clothing. It has also been a blessing because the shade provided by that tree during the summer is priceless. My father has said on more than one occasion if he had a nickel for every peanut butter and jelly sandwich that he ate under that tree, he could have retired 20 years ago. And I could say the exact same thing. Now, an interesting note. The first and only year that this tree bore absolutely no fruit was 2015, the year my grandfather died. Every year before that, mulberries. Every year after that, mulberries. That year, not one. We have a crest, believe it or not. The crest of the Berenato family is what is referred to as, it's of personal origin, meaning that it wasn't bestowed as a sign of nobility, but it was created by the family centuries ago. If you're not going to give us one, we'll make our own. We don't need yours. Now the color gold used, that denotes qualities of generosity and elevation of mind. The color green represents hope, joy, and loyalty and love. The lion, which is the most popular beast in heraldry, that symbolizes courage, bravery, strength, and valor. Its color red indicates nobility and fairness. And when you think about the voyage that our ancestors had to make 125 years ago, 3 weeks at sea with nothing but maybe a trunk or suitcase, having no idea what was awaiting for them, that certainly took a hell of a lot of courage, bravery,